They say if a European truck driver has worked with a truck for over 1 million kilometers and not even once, the engine has been opened up, then either that driver is lying or the truck is a Scania. But there's an even stranger truth. In 2024, which is about 1.5 years ago, a new engine officially entered the market that it snatched the crown of Europe's power from Scania, the Volvo D17 engine with a displacement of about 17.3 liters and 718 horsepower. That's just 10 horsepower more than the Scania V8 770, and with a bit more torque, it completely changed the game and claimed the title of the most powerful engine. Now, the question is, in a world where trucks are using artificial intelligence, mirrors are being replaced by digital cameras, and 17-liter engines are roaring like lions, which brand? Should we really consider the king of the road? But before we get to the answer, there's something else I want to say. Let me tell you, there's a strange secret about one of these trucks that if you stick with me until the end of the video, I'll reveal it just for you. Just to spark your curiosity a bit, I'll say this much. It's about a top secret feature that even veteran drivers didn't know about for years. Why is this truck so quiet? To find out who the real king of flagship trucks is, let me make it clear right from the start. The answer isn't straightforward at all, because each brand has conquered its own fortress. Scania, since 1891. Up to now, they've proven one thing. A lot of power doesn't necessarily have to come with high fuel consumption. Their 9, 13, and 16-liter engines have always been popular, but Scania's V8 is on another level. Its 16.4-liter displacement delivers 770 horsepower and 3,700 newton-meters of torque. It has a sound that shakes the ground. On the other hand, Volvo is always known for 3 things: safety, engineering, and stubbornness. By stubbornness and quality, I mean that the manufacturer, for example, says if an 8mm bolt is enough, I'll use a 10. Or if 4 layers of insulation are sufficient, I'll use 6. Or if the European Union says a certain part should last a certain amount, but I make it last even longer. Obviously, these decisions aren't cost effective, and if the manufacturer stopped being so stubborn, they could cut production costs by 30% and still have a legal, marketable truck. But they won't let go, because they say as long as my name is on the truck, it has to be the best possible, not just the minimum acceptable. Now, if mechanics complain and say the parts are expensive, it doesn't matter at all, because quality comes first. In the middle of all this, Volvo did something strange. In 2024, they introduced the dehydrator engine, a beast of about 17 liters with 780 horsepower and 3,800 newton-meters of torque. This means Volvo officially took the crown. They stole the title of the most powerful engine in Europe from Scania. But that's not the main story. The secret of Volvo's power. It's in something called turbo compound and I-shift, which together work like 2 superheroes and do something amazing. Turbo compound grabs the wasted energy from the exhaust and feeds it back into the engine. And I-shift acts like a digital brain that always makes the best decision. It says, let me handle the gear shifts. You just drive comfortably. Now let's talk about MAN. My MAN trucks are always quiet, but they do their job incredibly well. It's like having a silent German sitting next to you who only speaks up when needed and says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." The D38 engine, with 640 horsepower, it's one of the most balanced. And then there's the D. The 42.7.6, built for tough conditions, has 780 horsepower. But what's different from Volvo? The D42.7.6 is a massive inline 6-cylinder with 15.2 liters, not 17. But even in the toughest conditions, it still performs like a beast. On the other hand, in the DAF brand, DAF's Packer engines, especially the MX-13, might not break records in terms of pure power. But when it comes to heavy-duty use, ease of repair, and maintenance costs, they're truly unbeatable. It's like DAF was always made for people who want to spend less on repairs, spend less time in the repair shop, and haul more loads at the same time. But now it's Mercedes' turn. The OM471 engine with 530 horsepower, along with the predictive powertrain control system, uses AI to check slopes, cargo weight, route, and road surface, and basically tells you, bro, don't worry, I handle everything myself. In short, when it comes to raw power, Mercedes isn't above DAF, MAN, Volvo, or Scania. But in terms of intelligence, efficiency management, and driver comfort, it's truly unmatched. All right, let's move on from the engine. Let's talk about the looks and what's under the hood, these trucks. Scania cabins, especially in the V8 series, are like stepping into the cabin of a Lamborghini SUV. Black leather seats with red stitching, a leather steering wheel, an amazing sleeping area, a flat floor, and a level of quiet that's just unreal. In fact, the insulation of the Scania cabin is designed so well that even at 90 kilometers per hour, you can barely feel any wind. Drivers say even with 40 tons loaded behind the truck, this kind of silence is honestly a bit eerie, but at the same time, it's really appealing. On the other hand, the Volvo FH has always felt like a second home to drivers because everything is exactly where it should be. Honestly, it's like a psychologist came in and designed the interior. I'm talking about the FHA version, where the CMS cameras have replaced the traditional mirrors, improving both the driver's visibility and the aerodynamics. Now, let's talk about the MAN cabin. It's not too flashy, but it gives off a sense of orderly order, simplicity, and calm. No glitz, no unnecessary stuff, just what you actually need. But there is something special about its design. The Smart Select system acts like a touch mouse, letting the driver operate it without any hassle, and complication, making it easy to control all the truck settings, driver assistance systems, and entertainment. On the other hand, MAN's OptiView system is considered one of the best digital mirror replacement systems in the truck industry. It's used to give the driver better visibility, reduce blind spots, increase safety, and even improve the vehicle's aerodynamics. So what about DAF? Well, the DAF XG and XG Plus are basically like mobile bedrooms with longer cabins compared to standard models. More comfortable, so the driver can easily store their stuff or stretch out. The interior space is really warm and pleasant. It's like the engineer sat down and said, hey, our driver, he's a human, not a robot. He gets tired too, so let him be comfortable for a bit. But now, it's time to move on. Let's talk about Mercedes. Mercedes has the most luxurious cabin, especially the Mercedes Actros, which inside feels like a mix between a truck and an S-Class. By S-Class, I mean Mercedes-Benz's luxury flagship series that's made for passenger cars. The series is mostly known for its comfort, high-end features, advanced technology, and smooth, quiet ride. So when I say the Actros cabin is like the S-Class, I mean that the experience of sitting in and the comfort inside this truck is almost like being in a luxury flagship Mercedes car. This luxurious design is combined with the power and strength of a truck. A large digital dashboard, touchscreens, the mirror cam system, where cameras have replaced the traditional side mirrors, and seats equipped with advanced features, with heating and ventilation that keep your body warm in winter and cool in summer. And in short, all the luxury details are such that it's like Mercedes is showing off and saying, I'm not just a truck, I'm an experience, a luxury experience. Now, let's talk about which one is expensive and which one is more cost-effective. Scania and Volvo, because of their excellent quality, are considered kind of premium. So naturally, they're expensive, but they have a long lifespan, and when you want to sell them, they hold their value. Here's an interesting point about Scania. Its repair system is incredibly modular, meaning its parts can be swapped out as easily as Lego pieces. On the other hand, Volvo has a really strong service network. It's true that their costs are a bit higher, but you can always count on them. Makes sense that since it's a luxury brand, its price is higher, and on top of that, repairs are expensive because of the advanced technology and systems. Repairs end up costing a lot, even though its service network is excellent. It can solve any problem quickly. But its price is reasonable, and that's what makes it the best option for large fleets, because it offers a combination of good quality and manageable costs. And in the end, DAF is the most economical option. Plus, its maintenance costs are low, so by buying it, you can save a lot of money. Alright, now we've come to the secret I promised you. This story is about the previous generation Volvo FH, the same one that drivers always used to say, "Man, why are these so quiet? Huh? Even going uphill and when carrying a heavy load, you can't hear the engine." The truth is, everyone thought the reason was Volvo's smooth engine with the I-shift gearbox or the cabin insulation. But no, the real story is an engineering masterpiece that was kept top secret for years. The secret is about the horizontal cooling system, or the so-called laid-down radiator. It's a masterpiece of Volvo engineering. They made it so that air flows through the radiator efficiently, so there's no need for a noisy fan. Basically, this fan was kind of smart and wasn't supposed to turn on quickly with every little change in engine speed. No, it would only kick in when the temperature reached a certain level. This means that even when the 17-liter engine is working under a heavy load, the wild roar of the fan doesn't reach the cabin at all. But hold on, it's not over yet. Volvo had another trick up its sleeve here. The special angle of the radiator makes the airflow more consistent, so the fan kicks in later, and the fan noise. Even when it's on, thanks to the ultra-professional cabin insulation, the sound barely makes it inside. In fact, drivers would only hear a gentle whisper. It was as if this wasn't a beast of an engine at all, but just a gentle breeze moving through the cabin. Now, why was this design called top secret? Because Volvo's official manuals never explained anything about the angle or the fan mechanism. No one knew why this angle and radiator design were chosen, not even many mechanics. The main philosophy behind this radiator design is noise reduction. Only the company's own engineers knew what the secret was. But this simple yet clever change had transformed the FH into the quietest truck in Europe at high RPMs. This Volvo engineering secret made the previous generation FH always one step ahead of its rivals in NVH tests, that is, noise, vibration, and harshness, without anyone realizing it. Why? With all that said, if I had to choose one truck for my whole life, my definite pick would be the Volvo FH Aero with the D17 engine, because it's a combination of power. If you only had one choice, which brand would you go for? If you put all these brands in a room, it's like having 5 Marvel superheroes. Each one has its own unique power. Of course, all the basic features like ADAS, lane departure warning, smart cruise control, emergency braking, digital systems, they all have these. But if we want to make a general comparison, Volvo is the best in terms of power and technology, and Scania with its V8 engine is made for power lovers. On the other hand, it's the best option for fleets. And those who are thinking economically should definitely go for DAF. And finally, those who are into technology and luxury, well, naturally, they should go for Mercedes. So the competition between these trucks is mostly about each brand has its own philosophy. One says power is important, another says safety matters, another claims fuel consumption is everything, and yet another believes luxury is a driver's natural right. But in the end, which brand is the true king of trucks? Well, now the answer is simple. The best truck brand is the one that works for your needs, not the one that works for someone else. What I mean is, people's priorities are different from each other, so their choices will also differ based on the factors that matter most to them. They're different from each other.